Yeah, but the thing is
So
is
how
your
do I
main
practice?
no, but your biggest thing, your biggest point that everyone here is for is that you're a potential white supremacist. So
What evidence do you have that I'm a racist?
I was just literally watching a video of you talking about whiteness as a whole, talking about whiteness as a concept, okay? And you were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't.
You are a white man. How do you know?
Because I have eyes.
Because you have eyes. That's
And
not
I
a
have
description.
reason. So what can a black person do that I can't do in America, or
What can a
vice
black
versa?
person do?
What can I
So,
do a black person can't do? I
Let's
should say.
think of some history right here. Let's go
No,
through the history of redlining.
I don't need a history. I don't need.
Yes,
Listen. No, you're talking about
you
white
do
privilege.
need a history lining. Clearly,
No,
you need a history
I know your
lesson.
talking points better than you do, and I've read all the literature that you have.
Proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself. Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
Well, no, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel?
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here with a new video. Today, we're going to be checking out Charlie Kirk shuts down student insulting his intelligence. This is going to be amazing. According to Charlie Kick, because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
You dropped out of college, and your highest
Community college.
your Harper College experience. I apologize.
barely was smart enough to make it through community college.
Okay, so
Barely
and
made it through high school,
your
too.
highest degree level is an honorary doctorate degree from Liberty University.
No, that's true. I do have an honorary PhD.
Yeah. So essentially, what are your qualifications for arguing that college is a scam, or really having any economical knowledge at all, when likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole?
Okay, so no, hold on. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Who's Milton Friedman?
Who's Milton Friedman? I have no idea, and it's not important to this conversation.
Who is Ludwig von Mises?
These are all probably economists, and they're the same
Yeah.
thing.
Who is John Maynard Keynes?
Okay, obviously I know who Keynes is.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
He's the most famous economist of all
Well,
time.
You don't know Milton Friedman?
I mean, that's an economist.
Okay. How about Murray Rothbard?
That's another economist.
F.A. Hayek?
I don't know who that is.
Well, then you just came here and insulted my intelligence. You're right, I barely made it through community college because I was too busy, I don't know, starting a national youth movement with hundreds of thousands of members.
Hey, hold on, though. Hold on.
Employing hundreds of people, raising hundreds of millions of dollars,
Yes.
having a top 10 most popular podcast,
Sure.
and reaching tens of millions of people online every day.
Sure,
But hold on.
but you're also
What are my
calling all of your
qualifications?
constituents idiots
No,
by
I've
saying they
never said that,
participate in a
actually.
scam. Their
Hold on a
shirt's
second.
right there.
I'm
College
calling
is
the
a scam.
institution a scam.
So then
I never
why- okay,
insulted the
so then-
intelligence. I just
so
had
then-
10 people come up and we had warm conversations. So you asked, what are my qualifications? I'm a job creator, entrepreneur, autodidact. Do you know what that word means? Yeah, self-taught. You know, you should probably learn that word if you're going to come up and insult other people's intelligence.
Hey.
So
That was
autodidacticism
good.
is what Leonardo da Vinci was. You don't have to go to college to be
nail it,
wise.
yeah.
You don't have to go to college to be intelligent. I read 100 books a year. I visit over 150
Hey,
colleges.
I'm not saying
Hey,
you're unintelligent. I'm just
last-
saying you lack
last question.
qualifications.
Well, are you a New York Times bestseller?
Of course not. I'm in
Okay,
college.
got it. So I'm just trying. What are my qualifications? I have published books, read lots of books, dialogued with a lot of people, and instead of asking what my qualifications are,
yet
can you
you're
name one thing I've
consistently
ever said?
wrong.
Hold on. Name one thing I'm wrong about.
You literally just now incorrectly cited the difference between socialism and communism. While you
How
yourself.
so? What did I
How
do?
so? You claimed that Russia was socialist. Russia was
the
never
Soviet
socialist.
Union was socialist.
No, it was a communist nation. There is a significant difference
Why,
between the two.
why did Lenin say that socialism is the gateway to communism, and he was self-described socialist
Lenin-
in his private treatise
Lenin-
and documents in the Russian Revolution?
Lenin
before
was
he took
overtaken
over
by
the
Stalin.
capital? hold on a second. No,
So-
Lenin died, and then Stalin was his successor.
Yes.
So, but Lenin himself said, quote, that socialism is the introductory phase to communism. Did he not say that?
So then the vast majority of people, when they're referring to communist Russia, are referring to Stalin's rule over Russia. That was a communist rule that turned into a fascist rule later on.
Okay, so but what thinker was deified in Soviet Russia?
What thinker was deified?
Yes.
Marx.
Oh, and what book did Marx write?
Yes, he wrote Capital, and he also wrote the
Communist Manifesto. Who was his co-author?
Who was co-author?
Yeah, Engels. Good. I'm
Engels.
glad college is really paying off for you.
Hey.
So,
Hey.
but it's okay. It's fine. He comes up here and insults my intelligence. What are your qualifications? Doesn't even know the co-author of the Communist Manifesto or Das
Listen.
Kapital. But no, let me
true.
just
Again, but does my lack of knowledge on that mean that I have no
but
knowledge?
you came
Again,
up,
is that the
up
same
here
thing?
and insulted me, and you came up here guns a-blazing, man. And let me just ask again, what did I say that was wrong? I said that under the generally agreed upon definition of communism and socialism, which are interchangeable terms, one is a more harsh degree of the other, is that the elimination of the family, the elimination of private property, and the deprivation of basic human rights such as right to speech, right to assembly, and right to worship. How is that not a good definition of communism or
Because
socialism?
that
as per
explains
the
fascism
doctrine?
better.
Well, but in the Communist Manifesto, Marx said, quote, we are here to destroy the nuclear family and eradicate the family because it was the original oppressive, tyrannical structure. He said religion is the opiate of the masses and that private property must be eradicated. I have just now documented all three of those with evidence back to original source documents. And then in practice, Russia did all those three things when they were the Soviet Union. So where am I wrong?
But then at the same time, if you claim that those are all negative things, then why do you practice certain things in the doctrines that you just stated?
Well, I'm not trying to take people's stuff away. I want people to have bigger families, and I want churches to remain open.
Yeah, but the thing is
So how
your
do I
main
practice?
no, but your biggest thing, your biggest point that everyone here is for is that you're a potential white supremacist. So
That is a hurtful
What
word
evidence
to
do you have
use.
that I'm a racist?
I was just literally watching a video of you talking about whiteness as a whole, talking about whiteness as a concept, okay? And you were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't.
You are a white man. How do you know?
Because I have eyes.
Because you have eyes. That's
And
not
I
a
have
description.
reason. So what can a black person do that I
You
can't
can-
do in America? Or
What can a
vice
black
versa?
person do?
What can I
So,
do a black person can't do, I
Let's
should say.
think of some history right here. Let's go
No,
through
no,
the
no,
history
no,
of redlining.
I don't need a history. I don't need
Yes,
listen.
no,
You're talking about
you
white
do
privilege.
need a history lining. Clearly,
No,
you need a history
I know you're
lesson.
talking points better than you do, and I've read all those the literature that you have. I've probably forgotten more
History
about the
affects
literature.
history affects the present day as well, and you know that's true. If you went to college, you would know.
Well, hold on a second, but let me.
So then why are you wearing the college of the scam shirt? Drop out.
Well, because you could.
So it's because you don't believe your own beliefs, and that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
you can admit something's a scam and still get through it. That's why he's wearing it. Okay.
Well, then why?
You could feel like you're getting ripped off by an airline
But
and still
anyways,
want to get
that's
to New York.
not what we're talking
okay?
about anymore.
Like you're like, I'm getting ripped off by a $1,000 ticket, but you still get on the airplane. Like it doesn't make you a hypocrite. It means that the people are ripping you off, and a lot of you are getting ripped off. But no. So as far as white privilege, just without the history lesson of Jim Crow, segregation, imperialism, colonialism, slavery, all the stuff that I know that you're going to say. But just concretely, in America today, what can a white person do that a black person can't do?
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs if they have a black-sounding name.
That's not even close
That
to
is
being true. That's not even
that is
close to being
That's
true.
not true.
That is a literal.
In fact, it's the
Yes, that is-
opposite.
I'm not gonna argue your lived
Oh.
experience. I'm not gonna. No.
It's getting heated, guys.
See, now you have to listen to him under your rules because
Yeah.
a black person is going to
I
say
am-
you're wrong.
I am. He can say I'm wrong. I know.
Come on up to the mic.
I know. I read your.
My name's
Hey,
Keemon Dixon. I have a really black name. Please
No.
tell me how 50% of my internships have been denied when I've worked for Senator Mike Lee, Mayor Trent Sachs, Speaker Mike Schultz.
Hold on.
I've worked for a Congressman, Burgess Owens. I've actually worked on his campaign. I've worked on the campaigns of John Huntsman Jr. Please tell me how my black experience and my black name has not given me shit. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right?
This guy's a snowflake.
Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization.
Period.
That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
She's lying.
Well, no, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That's not comedy. That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris, because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania.
Look,
But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
no, there's nothing wrong with talking.
Well, that's
to
what we're doing
voters.
here today. It's an open
I
mic,
think that you push a dangerous agenda.
such as.
Your stance on abortion rights, for example.
Okay, so
So let me ask a question. What is your name?
Gene.
Gene. And what is your understanding of the current Republican Party's stance on federal intervention in abortion?
Well, I know that they want to bring it back to the states, right?
So it sounds like you do know that the Republican Party's current stance on abortion is they're against a federal ban on abortion.
I do
And we're
understand
talking
that,
about a
yes.
presidential election as the
Yes.
important election that we're talking about here.
I understand that, yes.
Great. So, again, I think this open dialogue is great. I think it's great you're here challenging Charlie, and I think it's great that he's willing to travel campuses across this country to talk to the next generation. We need more conversation. Now, where's the disagreement, though, on content? Because you could criticize style or why you're talking to people
Listen,
or dunk on someone personally, but where do you actually disagree with
I
the
agree
substance?
with the way that you edit content and specifically frame it so that people look bad
That's a
talking
lie.
to you.
That's a lie.
The way that you edit your content.
we post unedited content.
Let me just ask you one thing, though, because personal insults can fly in all directions. Where is an area where you have a disagreement with the conservative movement, with Donald Trump, with Charlie Kirk, perhaps with myself? I was a presidential candidate last year. I think we need to talk about that more in the open, and the more we do, the stronger our country is going to be.
True.
We got a long line of people, but I want to hear from you one substantive area where you have an authentic disagreement, and I'd be glad to address it. I'm sure Charlie would too.
Just in any
Anything.
political.
Relating to any political topic where you have a disagreement. Let's air it.
Okay. I disagree with
She
some of
doesn't
the
have.
laws that are being pushed in Congress that are against the LGBTQ community and the trans community.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm going to give you my view, and then I want to hear yours.
Okay.
My view is that if you're a fully grown adult, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want, dress how you want, marry who you want if you want, if you're
Okay.
over the age of 18.
I agree.
But you are not free to indoctrinate children in schools who are not yet of the age of consent. You are not free, just as you're a 17-year-old or a 15-year-old can't get a tattoo on their own, I don't think that you should be able to go or until the age of 18. And so the lines that I draw here is that men are free to claim to be women and swim in swimming pools. You're not free to claim trophies in a women's sports competition. You're not free to enter a women's locker room. You're not free to change a language. And you're not free to actually indoctrinate our children who are under the age of 5 in school. Do we agree on the fact that adults should be able to live freely while still treating children differently? If so, we're on the same side of this issue.
Listen, I agree with the majority of what you said. However, I don't think that you're understanding the implications of the laws that are trying to be passed.
Look, we got a head start in the conversation. We got a long line behind you. But my only ask is, forget the personal attacks or the stylistic attacks. Focus on substance. The more we debate that, the stronger we're going to be as a country. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I don't think you're focusing on substance, though. That's the issue.
Hold on. Look, he intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you, and you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about? Can you be specific?
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, but this is what you do. This is what you do. You take people and you put them under the spotlight, and you.
Well, hold on.
Are you seeing what
didn't-
she
I
did? She's
didn't ask for
gaslighted it.
you to come up here. You voluntarily came to the front of the line.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
You're purposely antagonizing people on campus, asking
How?
people to come up by spreading your weird agenda.
How? What agenda is that? I'm confused, though.
So, Charlie, I'll say this. We'll end on this and we'll go to the next question. When I was 18, and I'm not going to blame you for this, I also took for granted a lot of the stuff that the media force-fed me, because that's what you know at the age of 18. You say there are some vague laws making their way through Congress that are hostile to trans community.
Know how?
I don't think those laws actually
about,
exist, but I don't blame you if that's
me.
what the cable media is feeding you. But let's get to the specifics, and then we're able to actually have an open dialogue. And that's one of the things I've learned over the last 20 years.
I think that the issue is we're getting our media from different sources. Both people are getting media from these skewed sources. The facts that you're presenting are not always correct.
And that's why we're here with no TV screens between us. So people who have policy-based substantive disagreements, we invite those. I think that's how we're going to get our country back. And as it relates to trans, which you brought up, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want. You're not free to force that onto somebody else, or especially kids. And if we agree on that, we make some progress.
Thank you.
I'd like to disagree with you
right,
about college as a scam.
Okay.
Just because there's 50% of people who you say don't need college to get a job, why would it be a scam? There's a social impact about college, on America. College is, good.
The majority of kids that go to college when they graduate have a lower view of America than when they entered. Do you think that's a troubling thing?
I think just changing your opinion doesn't really matter too much.
Do you think that college teaches responsibility and hard work and?
Sure.
Okay, well, I find that hard to believe. Why is it that employers are more and more not wanting to hire college graduates, and they actually want to hire people that didn't go to college?
What employers?
You can name them out, man. Walmart just got rid of their, even in their corporate level, so you don't need to go to college. Koch Industries, one of the largest employers in the country, from Georgia Pacific Railroad to Dow Chemical. They said we no longer want kids that have gone to college because they end up causing problems because they're super entitled. And they're like, oh, what are my pronouns? And they have all this like left-wing nonsense that they've been filled with.
Well, then you have engineers, doctors, lawyers, people that
Sure, we need that, but that's less than 20% of the people that go to college.
Yeah, but
college is
it'd
an
be wrong to say
institution.
college is a scam if 25% of people become great people. Lawyers, doctors, engineers.
That's not what
really
college
help the
currently
world.
is, though. Again, I'm happy to have you read the book. College is a scam. I wrote it. I can have a more wordy thing, which is the vast majority of people that go to college are receiving a scam for the money that they're borrowing. The vast majority. Of course, there's exceptions. You can make whatever you want with your life. I mean, you could. But I mean, when you enter into an enterprise, you need to know that you are.
Most people that go into college
let
make
me
more
prove this
money
to
at
you.
the end.
How many of you guys have to take classes that are a waste of time that you wish you wouldn't have to take? Every single hand. You're being scammed against your will to take classes that make you go further into debt. Why can't you say I don't want to take this class? Why are you? Why as a customer you can't say?
Can you do a differential equation?
You what?
Can you do a differential equation?
Can I do?
Can you explain to me the anatomy of a human?
Like somewhat off the top of my head.
You know what psychology is.
Yes, I do know what psychology.
Okay,
I've read
can you
Freud and I've read
explain
Jung.
it to me?
Do you want me to explain psychology?
Well, you can't explain it to the depths of a bachelor's degree or a PhD.
Well, hold
or
on a second.
master's.
Time out. I've sat here with no notes, no phone, and debated people with
Yeah, because
PhDs,
you study
masters.
this because it's your job.
Hold on. I didn't go to college, man. That's the point. Is you can do whatever you want without a college degree.
True.
You can listen to podcasts, read books. You
Think
don't
about
need
if
to
Gauss
go.
wasn't able to go to the University of Göttingen. That's literally the reason.
I can't hear what you said. What'd you say?
You know Gauss, right? Mathematician.
Yes, vaguely, sure. Okay.
Vaguely.
Yes, vaguely, yeah.
Oh,
Do you know who
okay.
Milton Friedman is? Do you know who Herbert Marcuse is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Do you use a phone?
Do you know who Gouverneur Morris is?
Well, that's 'cause of Gauss.
No, you don't. So I could do gotcha too.
Like
so
Euler
before you try to
went
get
going
off
to
your ivory
university
tower
is the
and
reason
understand
that
not everybody.
he was able to become so proficient in mathematics.
So here's
and
the
change
thing.
the world.
The majority of kids that go to
Most
college
people
are
that get
more depressed than when they
PhD
enter.
degree are able
Secondly,
to perform much better in their field than someone who doesn't.
Well, then, if that's the question, if that really is true, if college is this amazing accelerant, then why do so many people?
I wouldn't say it is accelerant, but if you're looking at a field of science, right?
Let me finish, man.
And you want to
Have you taken a
accelerate that field of
communication course,
science,
or have you not done that yet?
You need a degree.
All right. Let me make my point. If that's the case, why do half of these kids end up with anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, and they end up getting a job that says, "Oh, sorry, you never needed the degree in the first place"? Why is that the case? Tell me.
People on average, once going to college, make more money.
Hold on, that's not true. They end up getting a job.
That is.
No, that's only if they graduate and it depends on the field of study. Do you know the average college graduate now is getting a job at $61,000 a year. The average plumber after 18 months, $68,000 a year.
Well,
the
sure,
average
but the
welder,
plumber isn't able to
$72,000 a
study
year.
with peers.
The plumber didn't go to college. The plumber went to trade or technical school. There's 11 million job openings that do not require a college degree in this country.
Well, who
11
engineered
million.
the stuff plumbers use?
I'm sorry, what?
Who engineered the stuff plumbers use?
I'm sure someone here. I mean, that it's like
someone with a
it's like
degree
saying who
from
designed the
college.
airplane for the pilot to fly. I mean,
Someone with a degree that went to college. Pilots go to
I'm not
college.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying you get rid of all places of higher learning. The way it's currently comprised for you guys, the amount of debt you have to go into, the
Well,
classes
you
that
say
you have to
don't
take.
get rid of places of higher learning, but then you go on to
you're
say
interrupting me
college
every
is a
15
scam.
seconds. You're not debating in good faith because it is a scam. So let me ask you a question. Can you point to other things of American life the last 100 years that have been scams? For example, when they run an advertisement, they say buy these pills because we're going to make you super muscular, and they don't have all the fine print that it might not work, and you have to have a monthly subscription. We shut down that business for being
That's
a
a little
scam.
different, though. That's a
How is it
product.
different? Hold on a second. When you show up to college, did they tell you have to take all these classes that you didn't sign up for? Did they? It said that you're going to have to take all these different classes. Did they tell you that half of you guys would not ever use your degree when you go into your career? How many of you guys knew that? You guys knew that when you signed up?
Well, college
knew
is
that.
what you
then
make of
you
it,
guys
right?
You guys are willingly participating in the scam. Good for you. The point is this, is that most kids know deep down they're getting ripped off. The number one thing I hear from people across the country in corporate America, boy, college is a waste of time. Boy, I wish I never would have gone. Now I have $60,000 in debt, $70,000 in debt. I wanted to start a business, but now I don't have the credit to do it. Instead, we are wasting our most prized possession, our 18 to 22-year-olds, to go stick them at many universities when they shouldn't be here in the first place. And it is a failed project. It is making us poorer. And by the way, just look at the actual numbers over a period of time. Has it worked? Is homeownership now going up for young college
Well,
graduates?
how are we going to blame that on college, though?
There's
a lot of different
it is the
reasons that
most
people are not
equally
able to buy
applicable.
homes.
It's the most equally applicable thing across the board for a
I wouldn't
generation.
say so.
And if you look at the average, how much debt do you have to go to school, by the way?
None.
None. Okay, wow. Are you on scholarship or?
Yeah,
Okay, so who's paying for your college then?
probably the federal government.
Okay, so I'm paying for your college, is what you're saying. My taxes are paying for your college. So wait, you're on grant or what?
I'm not going to discuss my college finances with
Well, no,
you.
this is really important. This is why you're so defensive of college.
Yeah.
This is why you're so forceful, because you don't have to walk around the rest of your life with a $100,000 student
I know
loan debt.
plenty of people that
because-
have part-time
hold on a second.
jobs and go to college.
This explains you perfectly. I, the taxpayer, when I write my check to the IRS, I'm subsidizing your ability to go to college.
Okay. When
And I
I
think that's a
write
huge
my
mistake,
check to the
'cause-
IRS, I
'cause
also give money for people to go to college.
You should have skin in the game. You should, and you don't right now. You are doing a freeloading thing. Of course, you should be defensive
I
of college.
pay taxes. I pay federal taxes.
Yeah,
I pay state taxes.
I'm sure I
state-
pay a
I'd
little
say
bit more
income
than you,
taxes,
but that's a separate issue. But the point is this: is
That's
that
probably true.
do you think you pay anywhere close to the tuition value you get at the school? Probably not.
Yeah, probably I do. It's like $5,000 a semester. It's a lot of money, but you get a lot out of
Wait,
that.
hold on. How much is it to go to school here?
It's around $5,000
So in-state.
in-state. Yeah.
Okay, did that include room and board and tuition?
No.
Okay, how much does that cost?
Room, board, tuition, all of it's around 11,000.
11,000 a semester. So you pay $22,000 a year in taxes?
No.
Okay, got it. So you're in a tax deficit, which means the U.S. taxpayer is subsidizing your education. That's fine. I'm not faulting you for it, but this is why you're so defensive, is you're detached from the price. You're detached from the cost. It's easy to be defensive of something you're not paying for.
That's true. I love this entire video. I truly love it. Starting from the first person, the first guy who was rude. I would say arrogant in a way. He was very, very arrogant and saying like, he's making Charlie look as if he's very stupid. Because he didn't go to college, that doesn't mean he's stupid. You understand? I don't know why people have this mentality like, if you didn't go to college, you are not a smart person. You understand? Someone can be self-taught. Someone might not go to college his entire life and still be way brighter, way smarter, way more intelligent than someone who have a PhD. You understand? Life itself is everybody has different paths. You understand? Because you go to college, you understand, then you become a doctor, you became a doctor or a lawyer, does not mean you are life smart. You can be educational smart, but you're not actually life smart. There's a difference. So when I went to college, I'm a university graduate. When I went to college, I've seen a lot of people who I know that they won't use their certificate to do anything. They are just going to school. They feel like they are being forced to go to school. Some of them, they feel like they are wasting their time in school. Some of them a lot of them are not actually taking school very seriously. You understand? And when they're done with school, you notice they start looking for other jobs, to sustain themselves. So, and the certificate itself, they're not actually using to do anything. So a lot of people who have seen, who have gone to college, who have passed through it, they're not using a certificate to do anything. Over and over, it's like a repeated cycle. I'm not saying school in general is a scam. School is not actually a scam. But at the same time, majority of people who are going to college, it feels as if they're wasting their time in a way because they end up not using the certificates to do anything. That is the pain right there. You understand? That is the pain. And I love how Charlie is making this public because a lot of people are not aware. A lot of people go through school and come out and say they never expected it to turn out like this. A lot of people are not aware. They feel like it does turn out great at the other end. The other end is when they're done with college, they'll get everything they want, get a good job. Life is going to be sweet and beautiful. But most of the times it's not actually like that. You understand? Especially when you study something that is not actually tangible, like engineering, like medicine. You understand? When you study other aspects that are not actually like solid, that when you get it, they don't actually want to employ graduates. Because a lot of people who go to school, they have this pride that they pay their tuition fee this amount of money. Why we be offering them such amount of money? You understand? They feel like the money they are actually trying to pay them is way less than what they pay for their tuition fee. You understand? They have this arrogance. You get? So a lot of companies, they don't want to try to employ graduates. So it happens. Every single one of them who came here, they were very arrogant in a way. They were very disrespectful. And I love actually handle them in a very right manner. Irrespective of they are trying to act like they're smart. Because you're in college does not mean you're smart. Because you're in college does not mean you are way, way, way intelligent. You understand that people who are way smarter than you who did not go to college, like Charlie Kirk. You understand? So I feel like that narrative of people saying you didn't go to college means you're not clever, it means you're not smart is a very, very wrong narrative. I might be self-taught, I might read books, you get? So people should not underestimate people who do not go to college. People tend to underestimate them too much, and it's a very terrible thing to do. I love that I tried to handle every one of them. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video to as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.